Hi everybody, today I want to talk to you about how to find a missing number in a data set when you are given the mean. So in this example, it says, suppose you know the mean, but you're missing one of the numbers. So the example they give us is that this quiz average, which is also known as the mean, is 85. And they give us 3 out of 4 of the quiz scores. And we have to figure out how we find that missing quiz score. Well, to think about this, we first have to think about how we actually find the mean in the first place. So kind of working backwards is what we're going to end up doing. So when I find the mean, remember, I add all of these numbers together and then I divide by the total number of data points that I have. And that gives me this quiz average. So we kind of have to work that same way, but we're going to put a variable in for our blank here. So I'm going to show you how to do this, setting it up as an equation. And then I'm going to show you a shortcut as well to help you find a missing value. So how do I find the missing quiz score? The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the values you have plus X. The next step is that we'll divide by the number of values. And we have to make sure we include X. We have to count that as a value. My third step would be to multiply on both sides. And then my last step would be to solve for X. So I'm going to show you how this all works once I put it together. So using this information, I'm going to add the values I have plus X. So I'm going to add 86 plus 83 plus 81 first. So when I add those numbers together, I end up with 250. So this is really 250 plus X. I don't know what that value is. So now, just like if I were finding the actual mean, I would take that and divide by the number of values I have here. Well, I have, even though I have 3 numbers, I have 4 values total. This counts as a number. We just don't know what number it is yet. So I'm going to divide by the number of values that I have, including my X value that I don't know. So I'm going to take that 250 plus my unknown number and divide it by 4, just like I would do if I were finding the mean. Now I know my mean already, so I can set this equal to my mean. Now, because I'm dividing, and I will always be dividing when I do these, I'm going to do the inverse to get rid of this dividing by 4. So remember, what I do to one side of my equation, I have to do to the other side as well. So since this is a 4 down here, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. That cancels these out. So I'm then left with 250 plus X equals 85 times 4, which is 340. Then I can simply solve for X like I've done in the past. So if I have 250 plus X, I have to do the inverse here. So I will subtract 250. That gets rid of those, and then I have X equals 90. So my missing quiz score would be 90. So now I'm going to show you a little shortcut to do these. So the first step is to add my values that I'm given. So that looks like my 86 plus 83 plus 81, which we already said is 250. Then I'm going to multiply my mean by the number of numbers. So my mean, they tell me up here, is 85. And the number of numbers I have here for my data, I have 4. So I'm going to do 85 times 4, which is the same thing I did here, just in different steps. So when I multiply 85 times 4, I get 340. Then I'm simply going to subtract. So that would look like 340 minus 250, and that is 90. So I get the same answer, basic same way of doing it, just a little bit shorter. So now let's look at some examples. We'll look at a few of these. So here I'm given a mean of 37, and I'm given 3 data points, and I'm missing that 4th data point. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add these 3 numbers together. So when I add 40 plus 29 plus 50, I get 119. Then I look at how many data points I have. I have 4. There'll be 4 numbers. So I'm going to take that mean and multiply that times 4. 37 times 4 is 148. I will then take 148 minus 119. And you should get 29 for your missing value. All right, I'd like you to pause the video and try 2 and 3, and then come back when you have them finished. When you added these digits together, these numbers together rather, you should have gotten 372. I'm multiplying by 5, since there are 5 values, for 450. 450 minus 372 gives me a value of 78. For number 3, again, I will add. When I add those numbers, I get 170. 5 values total, so I'll multiply to get 200. And then 200 minus 170 is 30. So that's how you find the missing value when you are given the mean.